Perfect. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Georgia University System Internship Initiative. Today, I am joined by my partner, Caitlin Dan, as a part of Addie Team 2, and we are going to present to our client today, Diane Kirkwood. Thank you guys both for joining us, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So to get going, I'm going to run through some of the contents that we have. Today, we're going to do a brief introduction, tell you a little bit about our design team, and we're going to go through the performance assessment, purpose statement, instructional goals, and all of the things that we call an analysis summary. And through this analysis summary, we're going to talk about an effective training program for the Georgia internship program that you guys are looking to fill. And we're going to give you some options. We're going to talk through some things. And if you have any questions throughout, just stop us and let us know.
Sounds great.
All right, so this is the introduction. The USO compromises two shared service locations, the Georgia Public Library and the Georgia Archives. The objective is to recruit interns or assistants who are in the process of completing their degree requirements. It's highly interested in entry-level talent looking to build their careers. And the client has requested a structured internship program for USG students. The program will focus on acquainting the interns with organizational procedures of the USO, its cultures, and the specific expectations of their role.
Sounds great.
So this is the design team. This is just us. We are a team at UGA, and we're taking a course called Introduction to Instructional Design. And so through this course, we are going to, in this project, we're going to talk to you a little bit about the Addie design program and how it's going to how it's going to play a role in the internship program that we're looking to initiate. So I'll run through the performance assessment. This is the first piece of our analysis summary. And so what we're looking for in a performance assessment is where is there a lack of knowledge and skill, and how can we close this gap? So when we took some data, we saw that 87% of participating students reported an increase of practical skills and knowledge. 82% of employers reported a positive experience and expressed interest in future collaborations. 73% of participating students feel adequately prepared for the professional workforce, and 95% of program guidelines are consistently met. And so when we look at those actual performance data, when we see that, we are looking to fill those gaps. And so the biggest one that stands out to me is that 73% of participating students feel adequately prepared for the professional workforce. So the main idea of our program is that we want these kids who are going into the program that they've selected, we want them to feel 100% confident, and we want their outcomes after going through our training program to really fill that gap from 73 to get it to like 100. Because going into any career right out of college, I feel personally there is a difficulty with that transition. And so with this program, we're looking to balance that transition out. And so if we look through the desired performance, it's of course giving us some guidelines of where we'd like to see the numbers kind of go to. And then the cause would be, that disconnect that I had briefly mentioned just a minute ago about coming from college into the workforce. And we can really see that here because the people that we are kind of targeting are these really new people to the workforce and, kind of college kids. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we go through the learner profile.
Okay. So the purpose statement, the purpose of our training is to establish a more efficient internship program at the USG system office. The program aims to enhance the recruitment process, provide an organized orientation, and fill gaps in critical areas like procurement and IT. This initiative will benefit both the USO and its student interns, potentially leading to long-term positions.
So our instructional goals are what keep us aligned throughout what we're creating. So when we are trying to, like any task, you want to have a goal and a way to measure if you've achieved the goal. So what we've created is 6 different goals that are aligned with the Addie process. So we start with knowledge, comprehension, application, and then when we analyze, we synthesize, and then we evaluate. And so the first goal would be identifying internship placement, project supervisors, and job descriptions. That's something we need to do first before we can look at any of the rest of the program. Then we're going to want to describe the organizational procedures, culture, internship expectations, and responsibilities of the USO. Just kind of giving us an overall idea of what are we actually looking to do and where are we starting. For application, we're going to want to create a detailed outline for the internship program that includes a structured schedule, clear learning objectives, and a timeline. Then we're going to analyze, we're going to examine the organizational procedures, culture, and internship expectations and responsibilities of the USO. We're going to finally synthesize by creating a portfolio documenting knowledge, skills, and resources gained in the role. And at the end, we're going to evaluate. And in the evaluation stage, we're going to evaluate the success of the internship program, including the intern satisfaction, skill development, and perceived impact on the organization, which usually looks like a survey, feedback, and ways to improve. So right now,
sounds really good. The goals are really establishing something we're very interested in seeing in our organization. So especially when you talk about the detailed outlines and things that are not existing right now, those are really critical to our success in this program. And it really means a lot to the students and to the USO. So looks good.
Absolutely. We're glad to hear it. And the stage that we're really in right now is we've created the internship placement, the project supervisor, job descriptions. We know we're there with that. We're really in this stage of application. And that's what we want to move forward with you on. And once we've kind of implemented, it kind of goes hand in hand. Then we can move on to analyzing, to synthesizing, and to really evaluating whether or not our program kind of met expectations and how we can change it to, meet those expectations moving forward.
That sounds great.
So this is just a quick overview of the learner audience profile. We know that they're all students, either undergrad or graduate college students. They come from diverse academic disciplines. They're across university campuses across the state of Georgia, with programs offered locally and remote, and they're offering local and remote internship opportunities. And we know that the learners are enthusiastic and open to learning, with the idea that they want to develop career and community engagement.
Awesome. And so, of course, both programs that we've created are going to require resources. And none of these resources are ones that have to be used, but they're just ones we suggest. We're going to need things such as technology resources. We're going to need instructional facilities, and we're going to need human resources. And so having a combination of all of these things will lead us and help us meet those instructional goals that I mentioned previously. And based on the program that you do select, they do vary slightly. So if you choose to go with our virtual option, some of these things won't be as necessary. Whereas if you choose our in-person option, it will be more necessary. So if you want to take a quick look at this, these are things that you likely already have in place at your offices, but you may not. And so just having these resources available will make the implementation of the program much more smooth, much easier, and just kind of start us off on the right foot when we have all these pieces in place. So I'll give you a second to look over that. If you have any questions, let us know.
I do see a lot of internal resources that probably exist already. So I'm hoping that will continue to contain my cost, because as you know, we're a state agency underneath the state and system of Georgia and university system of Georgia. So that cost containment is important to us as well. So that is encouraging to see.
Absolutely. We do try our best to, we want to make it as realistic as possible for the client. We don't want to create this and then it feels so out of touch. We try our best to make sure that the way we're going to implement this makes sense and it will be helpful and it is realistic. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I also noticed that you had the D2L learning system on there too. And that is something I think students are already used to. So that's actually helpful as well. So it's good move too.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So we have come up with two options for you. Option A is a synchronous online with a facilitator. It takes a little bit less time. And then option B is an asynchronous online learning option that's a little bit more flexible, but we're going to go over both options in detail on the next couple of slides.
Yeah, thank you.
So these, again, they follow our ADDIE phases. And so we've got analyze, design, develop, implement, evaluate, and then the total cost. So when we're looking at this, we've got two options here, and we'll share this presentation with you as well. But to look at them both quickly, one of them is more expensive than the other. And really, they both contain the same content. They're both going to provide the same outcome. But if we take a look at this right here, this cost analysis, you can kind of compare, and you can really see that in all the phases, they are very similar in cost other than that implement phase. And so the reason that the cost is so much higher for option B is because it is going to be a longer program, as it's going to be virtual, whereas the in-person one is a little bit shorter. But we believe this, is a more flexible option for student learners, and honestly a more preferred option a lot of the time. So that's why that program's a little bit longer. However, we do have the one that is a little bit quicker, a little bit less expensive, but it really just depends on what you feel would be the best for your learners, and what you think would be best, for the people who are facilitating as well. So this, I feel like, gives a good overview of why these things are important and why they kind of cost more than the other.
So one is more self-directed and the other one's facilitator led, which is probably the biggest issue, and what we would have to settle internally to decide whether or not that connection with that facilitator is really critical to the learning option as well. So that's good comparison. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So this is kind of our whole overview plan. As we said earlier, we've already done the analyze and design and development phase. So we are in between the development and the implementation phase. If you choose to go with us, we will move to the implementation phase. And that will be where you decide between option A and option B, which option you choose to implement with your learners. And then we will still be here along with you if anything needs to be tweaked or changed along the way, if we can provide any support for you. And then we will move into the evaluation phase. We'll determine the evaluation criteria, select the tools, and then we will conduct the evaluation.
Sounds good.
All right. And so this is our client endorsement page, and this is kind of just a quick contract / like selection method. That way we can kind of lock in your choice, and we'll have our project manager sign it off and get us going with whichever program you select.
Okay. So it sounds like the next step is in my court, and that is to discuss this with my internal leadership team to see what they are most interested in. And if I need anything else, I'll reach out to you on that just to get some additional support and help.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I'm leaning towards the more expensive model, but that's because I think that relationship with the student and the key facilitator is pretty critical, and at least to begin with, so we can fine tune the program. I mean, both look very viable and really meet our needs and our goals. So I appreciate the time you've spent with the team developing this, and to initiate an excellent program option for us to review internally. And I will need probably about 2 weeks, if that's okay, for internal feedback, and then probably some back and forth before we can finalize this with Natasha, your program manager on this, your project manager on this. So does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Sounds great.
Well, thank you for meeting with us. And again, take your time, let us know, and then we can move forward with whichever option seems best. And yeah. And so thank you so much for meeting with us, both of
Yeah,
Thank
you did an excellent job, guys. Thanks so much. And we will be in touch as soon as we can.
Thank you.